It is now time for our feature presentation. Alright guys, we got our first episode of Tales from the Crypt today. This is the very first episode. Dwayne, could you talk about that a little bit?
So this episode is called The Man Who Was Death. Mm-hmm. It's William Sadler, I believe.
So, yeah.
If you know him, he's been in a lot of Stephen King adaptations like The Mist, Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption. He was the Death in the Bill and Ted movies and everything, and he was in the Tales from the Crypt, the Demon Knight movie, and some others. And in this episode is really cool. He's a executioner for the state, and then and he loves his job. He said, I like to stare him right in the eyes, and when I pull that switch and everything, and then the state abolishes the death penalty. So they get rid of his job. He doesn't have a job anymore, but besides, he still likes doing the job. So he's watching the news, and as people who are getting off on technicalities, he decides he's just going to kill them. And how our little episode ends is he gets caught, and then guess who gets put onto the death penalty for the electric chair?
Yeah. So this is the second time I've seen this one. This is the only one I've seen before. Me and Nana Kay watched it. Didn't know it was going to be as many titties in this as there was. But you know what? It was alright. And then this one I think is probably one of the best written. Just like the guy, the main character, he talks and narrates a lot of this, and I think the way he talked, he had like a southern kind of draw to him, and I really thought that flowed well with the story. Some of these Tales from the Crypt are hit or miss. I think this one's definitely a hit. I really enjoyed this one, and I really enjoyed the main character. Even though I kind of saw the writing on the wall and how it was going to end is a little predictable. Most of them are, but it's still a little fun adventure, 20-minute adventure.
Yeah, a real solid episode. It's not too, corny. I mean, some of them are, like you said, you can see the writing on the wall, you see how there's going to be a twist, you see how the plot's going to change. This one was really well written, and I think they spent a really good time saying, hey, we need to have a really good one, the first one ever, had to be really good, and it really was.
They did choose a good one to start with.
Heck yeah.
I really liked how he changed so much, because the first one he's all cocky, he goes, yeah, they always begging that the crime that the governor's going to call, but he never does. And at the end he goes, but the governor may call. Wait, don't pull it. I was like, yeah, okay. I loved how they flipped it. Even though I saw it coming, I think they did it pretty great.
I
agree. You said you know this guy, the main character. If I had seen him with something, I didn't recognize him. Some of these guys were probably either retired or dead before I, really started getting into movies.
Yeah, he was one of the prisoners in Shawshank in the Green Mile. It was his little girls that got killed at the beginning that started the whole story. And Bill and Ted, he's Death. He's the Grim Reaper.
Never seen Bill and Ted.
In The Mist, he's one of the guys that's stuck in the grocery store with the main characters and stuff. He's a real known, character actor. I've not seen a movie where he's like the main star, but he's always been a really good character actor, a really good actor actually too. In Demon Knight, he's actually kind of like the main character. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. But him and Billy Zane are fighting each other. Yeah, he's the guy that had the little thing on his hand.
Oh, okay.
That stuff. So
it's been a minute since I've seen that.
Yeah.
So what would you rate this one?
This is a good 8 out of 10 on Tales from the Crypt. It's a really good solid one.
All right, here are my pros and cons for The Man Who'll Be Death. My pros: a pretty well written story. I love the main character, and I love the verbiage and dialogue he had. I thought it was written well, very well written character. Just a fun, quick 20-minute story that was a lot of fun. My cons: my only con was kind of a predictable ending. Alright guys, I'm giving Tales from the Crypt, The Man Who'll Be Death, 8 fried prisoners out of 10.